Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Educational AD Podcast. We're going to be right back with today's guest, but as always, we're going to give a shout out to our sponsors. Now, these are all companies that I used as an athletic director. They're all great companies. You should be using them too. So take 3 minutes, listen to our shout outs, then listen to our podcast guest, and then go and visit these sponsors. I'm telling you, you're going to be glad you did. Here we go. We want to thank our good friends at Vital Signs Wall of Fame. Go to their website and take a look at their interactive touch screen. That's right, touch screen video consoles. If you're looking for a great way to display your school record boards or your Hall of Fame, this is it. You put one of their modules in your gym lobby or your main school hallway. It's going to be like a magnet for kids, for coaches. How about sponsors and alums? Go to vitalsignswalloffame.com. Check out their great products today. We also want to say thanks to Huddle. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years, but when I became an athletic director, I made sure that our school was a Huddle school. And our coaches, our student athletes, even our parents just love the tools that Huddle provides. Go to huddle.com for more information. Join the 8 million users. Turn your school into a Huddle school. We also want to thank our friends at Snap Raise. Have you ever spent weeks and weeks with a fundraiser and been disappointed in the results? Well, those days are gone. Go to snapraise.com. We used it at our school with great success, and you will too. Check out all their other great platforms. But if you're looking for a fundraiser, you just found it, and it's Snap Raise. We also want to thank Home Campus. Home Campus is a platform you're going to use every day. Scheduling, rosters, results. For me, the athletic clearance and eligibility standard alone was the gold standard. Go to homecampus.com, mention the podcast. That's homecampus.com. We want to say thanks to Gipper. Go to Gipper.com and let their team turn you into a social media marketing genius. Whether it's a small post to celebrate a big win or an entire newsletter designed to showcase all the great things that your program's doing in the community, the team at Gipper will have you up and running in no time. That's Gipper.com. We also want to thank Sideline Interactive, indoor score tables, and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com and you can schedule a live web demo to see their products in action. It's probably one of the best purchases I ever made as an AD. Go to sidelineinteractive.com and don't forget to mention the podcast. We'd like to thank Ohio University and their online masters in athletic administration. My assistant athletic director, along with thousands of others, got his master's through the Ohio University program, and it was a great experience. While he was doing it, he also completed 11 NIAAA leadership training courses at no extra charge. Check out Ohio University and their online masters in athletic administration. We'd like to thank our friends at Hometown. Hometown is changing the game for schools and organizations with their suite of solutions that includes things like, digital ticketing, big surprise, but how about athletic website construction, fee-free fundraising, and a whole lot more. Whether you're an AD, a coach, or a school administrator, Hometown makes it easy for you to save time, raise more money, and bring your community together. Go to hometown.com for more information. And we'd like to thank Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack. Athletic directors already get feedback, but a lot of times it's from a very small group that just wants to complain. Athletic Surveys is going to connect you to that group so you can hear the concerns and address them, but they're also going to connect you to the hidden 98% that supports your program. And having that type of positive data is incredibly valuable, especially when you're visiting with that frustrated parent, maybe your principal, or even your school board. Go to athleticsurveys.com. They'll create a custom survey just for you, let you take the pulse of everybody in your program. That's athleticsurveys.com. And don't forget to mention the podcast. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Educational AD Podcast. We are staying right here in Florida today, and we're going to be talking with somebody I like to call a friend of the show. Our guest today is Brittney Scott. Brittney is a certified athletic administrator. She's the director of athletics at East River High School. That's part of the Orange County Public Schools out of Orlando. Has a tremendous background in athletics, and she's going to share all that. But Brittney, welcome to the Education Lady podcast.
Man, Jake, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, you and I were talking, it's the end of the school year. The kids are gone, but the life of an AD continues continues to happen. As you said, that phone keeps ringing. We always like to start out and let our listeners have a chance to get to know our guests. So give us your quick bio, where you were born, where you grew up. Take us up through your own college days, and then we'll take a break. But what's the Brittney Scott origin story?
Oh man, that is such a loaded question, but I'm glad you asked. So it's kind of a little bit of a hybrid situation. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. I'm Caribbean background, so I'm Jamaican. I have a Jamaican family, so you know what that household kind of looked like. Single parent household, but when I say single parent, obviously mom was there. That is one of my backbones. But my grandmother, man, I can't say enough about that lady. She's still here kicking, me and life. So glad to have her. So that was kind of my upbringing. So like I said, in New York, my mom got the bug maybe after the 96 Olympics, I believe, and we moved to Atlanta. So I was in Atlanta from about second grade till sixth grade, a little bit. So kind of formidable years playing sports, rec ball, things of that nature. Basketball is my niche, so I got bit by that bug early. And funny story, something quick. My mom told me, obviously, Bulls were the big thing in the 90s, everybody wanted to be like Mike, but she told me I wanted to be like Phil Jackson. So when I tie my story together, it'll all make sense. So I was there until about sixth grade, and then we moved to Port Charlotte, Florida, where my grandmother had a house at. If anybody doesn't know where Port Charlotte is, that's about 45 minutes south of Fort Myers. So went to middle school and high school there. I am a proud fighting Tarpon. I graduated from Charlotte High School, so that's in Punta Gorda, Florida. So that's another big school in that area. So man, high school for me, I was a two-sport athlete. Basketball was my number one. I also ran track. And for kids that feel as though they can't do both, listen, my basketball coach was also the cross country coach. So I was unexcusably on the cross country team by by default a little bit. So like I said, I happen to be a proud D2 athlete. I want to make sure I say proud D2 because everybody doesn't have to go D1. I went to Barry University in
Oh,
Miami
yeah.
Shores.
Hmm.
And a little bit about that would kind of tie the story in a little bit together. I got bit by the coaching bug early. Now, obviously, I played basketball. I was a two guard and a little bit of a one. So that was my heart. That was my bread and butter. Loved that. But basketball coaching got to me early. So we used to have a little league called Tiny Tarpons, where the actual athletes on the team became the coaches, and then we would
Right.
coach like the middle school kids or the elementary school kids. So I was doing that early. I'm in high school coaching, which I enjoyed. I also want to give definitely a shout out to the Harold Avenue Rec Center in Port Charlotte, Florida. I played there, I coached there, I refereed there before I left for college. So I'm one of the few people that you probably have on this podcast that kind of knew what their passion was, and they're in like ninth grade, 10th grade, which is really, really great for me. So definitely wanted to do that, and I did those things there, and then it just obviously with basketball, being a leader on the floor, knew that I wanted to stay in sports some way, some shape, some form. So my degree is in sports management with a minor in business. So that kind of put me in this realm. But honestly, my first goal, I wanted to be a sports agent. That was the goal. That was the thing. And then obviously as I started playing and then getting into coaching a little bit more, doing some other things, man, coaching was my passion. My goal was to get to college. So fast forward, I got to that point. But I got my first head coaching job in Florida at the age of 20, at the age of 21.
We're going to go into all that in that second segment. Great. You painted such a great picture of that growing up and some of those formative experiences. I remember as a ninth grader with big public high school, we had these four new boys, PE teachers. They were all like 2, 3 years right out of college, and they were cool guys, great teachers. But I just remember thinking as a ninth grader, wow, this would be a pretty cool job.
Hmm.
And I don't know if I thought about it much beyond that, but no, I'm right there with you. I want to go all the way back to you mentioned formative years, let's say fifth, sixth, seventh grade before you really got into maybe competitive sports. What was it like in the neighborhood? Was there a hoop in the driveway? Was your place where everybody hung out in the neighborhood? What was that like?
So I grew up a little different than kids today, man. So I was the girl that always played with the guys. I was always with the guys. I was getting picked up on the black tops with the guys and things of that nature. So a type of toughness I got instilled outside of my family. It's just going outside and playing. Like that was one of the biggest things. So those years for me are one of the best years of my life growing up because it was all the memories I could remember. Going on the playgrounds, going to the parks, things of that nature, just being outside. And I think that's a lost art. Obviously, now with our kids today, it's a little bit different. But I was one of those. I'm like one of the dying breeds of that. So that definitely shaped just having a toughness, just being the only girl and being saying, "Hey, I hold my own out here. I can hang with the guys."
All right, you got to share a story now. I know you probably have a ton of them. Of oh, we don't want Brittney on our team, or you guard her, and then you ended up schooling them a little bit. Am I right?
Of course. Listen, that's every loving basketball story where you start, man. So I remember it. I was fun to say I maybe went back for the summer back to New York, go to my godparents' house, things of that nature. Go to the park, have my ball with me and my sneakers, because if I'm not on the team, I'm gonna shoot on the side rim and just be to myself. They needed an extra, so I said, "Hey, I'll play. I'll pick me up." Oh no, we don't want the girl. And I think I started out. I hit the first three threes of the game, and they were like, "Man, you got to guard her." And I was like, I looked at them like I told you. So
I
little cockiness, little confidence, but definitely, definitely.
Right. And that's always how it is.
Mhm.
Somebody's yelling at somebody else. Hey, you got to guard her. They're not saying I'm going to guard her. Yeah, they
Right,
they can
right.
see, hey, I don't want any part of her. Um, Moving on to high school. What's a moment or a memory that really sticks out for you? Maybe a game, practice, bus trip. What's something that turned out to be maybe impactful in your career?
Man, it's just understanding how many personalities have to be on the team to fit. Now, obviously, in high school, we don't know everything. We still learning, still growing, and all those type of things. But it's a different type of feeling when everybody is moving in the right direction. Everybody's rowing the boat the same direction. And to be 15, 16, 17 and see that early with a great group of friends that we went to middle school together and then go to the same high school to go play, it just felt different. So we can go in the locker room before coach even gets in there and we're having it out with each other. And by the time he gets in there, we're quiet because we were just ready to get out for the third quarter. So those moments and just being a part of that culture, man. Charlotte High School is really the high school in the area where the whole town shuts down on a Friday night for football. So it's one of those aspects where if it's Port Charlotte versus Charlotte, everybody's coming to the game. So I kind of got that niche early a little bit of what a crowd feels like and what it means to put on, or they'll let you know when you're bad. So definitely enjoyed my high school years.
Now, I can say I know exactly what you're talking about. When I first retired, I was still, working as a basketball official, and we retired to the Venice area. And I
Mm-hmm,
worked a number of Charlotte and Port Charlotte games, and I did
mm-hmm.
one of the rivalry games. So I know just what you're talking about. That gym was packed.
Yes, sir.
It's a very, very cool environment.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's jump to college. You stayed in Florida, and
Mm-hmm.
again, Barry, pretty successful program. What are some memories
Absolutely.
from that time of your life?
Oh man, understanding what I thought hard work was in high school wasn't the same hard work in college. So I got that early. My strength and conditioning coach Wayne, man, I will never forget that guy ever. I still see him in my dreams, man. The aspect of really having to go and get it because essentially you're on a contract. They can decide not to bring you back the following year based on scholarship. Obviously, contract, I mean scholarship, but you really got to work. And that means the study halls and waking up early for morning lifts and then going to class and all those type of things. So a little bit for me is kind of it's important. The work you put in is important, man. You can't get away from that. So if somebody else isn't doing something, college is not the time to say, well, I want to be with everybody else. You've got to stand apart and be your own person and have everybody else follow, man. So I definitely learned that in college, and I'm grateful for that opportunity that I got just to be a part, man. It's a great environment, and again, D2 is something that's still good because at the end of the day, when I graduated, that piece of paper has my name on it. That's all that matters. That
Well,
is all that matters.
absolutely. And you were part of that 4% that did go on
Yeah.
and play athletically at the next level. Let's go and take our first break. Once again, our guest today is Brittney Scott, certified athletic administrator and the director of athletics at East River High School in the Orange County Public School District. Let's take that break, but we're coming back. This is the Educational AD Podcast. We want to say thank you to Vital Signs Wall of Fame for their support of the podcast. If you're looking for a really cool way to display your school record boards for all the teams, for all the different events, or show off your school's Hall of Fame, go to Vital Signs Wall of Fame and take a look at their interactive touch screen. That's right, touch screen video consoles. You put one of these units in your gym lobby or your main school hallway, it's going to be a magnet for the kids, for coaches. How about alumni, sponsors? Go to vitalsignswalloffame.com and check out their products today. We also want to say thanks to Huddle. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years, but when I became an athletic director, I made sure that our school was a Huddle school. Our coaches just loved the tools that Huddle provided. Our student athletes love the videos, and our parents love the streaming, but there's a lot more. Go to huddle.com, join the 8 million users, and find out how to turn your school into a Huddle school. That's huddle.com.
Man, definitely excited about Huddle. We're not a Huddle school, but I definitely have a multitude of sports that use that service. My football team is big on it with watching film, breaking it down, and my kids doing highlights. So definitely want to give Huddle a little shout out.
Well, gosh, that's so nice of you. And again, as an AD, it really made me feel good when our coaches, like our basketball coaches or our volleyball coaches, I'd walk through the gym and they're using their cell phone to turn the cameras on to because they want to
Mhm.
video practice. So thanks a lot for sharing that. For our listeners, our guest today is Brittney Scott. She's the director of athletics at East River High School in the Orange County Public School System here in Florida. Brittney, you took us up through, your college days. You already said, you knew, you wanted to be a coach, you wanted to be an AD. What were some of those early stops along the way that eventually brought you to East River?
Man, Jake, thank you again for having me. So that story is a little crazy too, a little bit, but all in good fun. So, I want to say, I can't remember if I was a junior or a senior in college. Can't remember. I want to say probably a senior. There was an ad. I went on the FHSSA ad classifieds just to see if there was an assistant basketball job somewhere so I can get back in that niche. And I got an assistant job at Sagemont School in Weston. It's a private school, small private school in Weston, but if you know, you know. So it was over there for about 2 seasons, and I just decided to take a chance on myself, and that's kind of been my story. Just bet on me and see what happens. I applied at 21 to be the head basketball coach at West Broward High School in Pembroke Pines, Florida. I definitely want to give a shout out to Jim Dar and Teresa Hall, the principal and AD at the time, to giving me a shot at 21. Jake, I don't know where you were at 21, but I didn't know. Hey, I took a chance, and here I am. So I was able to get that position. I was at West Broward for a number of seasons, and then my career really took off when I made the jump to Coconut Creek High School in Coconut Creek, Florida. That's where Charles Hendricks, who is still the AD there, gave me an opportunity to be an assistant and a coach. And the guy is like a guru, man. He's like an uncle to me. Rocky Gillis, man. I can't
Oh,
thank
yeah.
that guy enough. Oh man, he took a whim on me. He knew me as a coach, but then I tried to get in my realm as an assistant. He kind of took me under his wing, and I was getting gear and be able to be close to Rocky, man. So definitely want to thank Rocky for that. And then around that time, AAU was a big thing as well for basketball. So the EYBL, which is the Nike circuit, I got an opportunity to coach with the Miami Suns, and that kind of took my coaching profile to national ranks where I'm talking to college coaches on a regular and all those type of things like that. So the goal was college. I just wanted to be a college coach. Opportunity came. FAMU in Tallahassee gave me an opportunity. I was there for 1 season. And honestly, I can honestly say this. I got to college and it was kind of like a dream deferred a little bit. And the reason why I say that because it was more paperwork than actual coaching versus high school where there's more coaching and a little bit less paperwork. So wanting to be around kids and wanting to make the impact that I did before, it kind of felt a little different. So still grateful for the opportunity. And the reason why I say it kind of goes full circle for me is that I was in Tallahassee and I said, with my resume, I can get a job between Tallahassee and Broward County, Florida, which I started my coaching career in. And I went on the FHSSA classifieds again. I applied at Evans High School in Orlando and East River High School. I got on the turnpike. I interviewed at both schools in one day and got right back on the turnpike and went home. And East River became home. I didn't know where East River was. I had no ties to Orlando, and I just took an opportunity. And here, fast forward, here I am now, the director of athletics at East River High School, man. So I'm grateful for my journey.
Well, again, I just love hearing the stories. Now, you asked where I was at 21. Yeah, I wasn't even out of college. But this expression gets used, I think, by ADs a lot when they're talking about coaches. It certainly applies to athletic directors. We'll talk about that later. But when you became a head coach, the expression is you don't know what you don't know. You talked about the paperwork at FAU, but those first coaching jobs, what was something you found out about coaching that you didn't know?
I can answer that. I'm ready to go on that answer because I tell my kids this story all the time. I was about 21, 22. Like I said, I was 21, which was the youngest head coach in Broward County history at the time. And I'm still trying to have fun. I'm a late bloomer. Like I said, I was born in New York. So I started school a little bit later than everybody else. So my age is a little bit different. But I just wanted to have fun. And then I walked into the gym. I never forget it, on a Saturday practice. And I might have went out, had a great time the Friday night before. And I just looked at my team and I had 12 or 13 girls that was looking at me to lead. It was playtime was over. Like I could still have my personal life, but when I got to that practice, it was time to get to work. And from that moment on, it changed how I took my approach as a coach. And that's why I'm just grateful for how I am now because those kids looked at me like, Coach, man, what are you doing? I'm like, you know what? You guys are right. It's time to get to work. So honestly, it's just them looking back at me and saying, "Hey, where's our leader?" And I couldn't tell them that, she's tired from the night before. That's not how that works, and that's not my makeup. So that changed for me that day.
Again, I got so many questions, but it's only a 1 hour show. That's why we're going to have to bring you back.
I'm
Um,
grateful. I'm grateful.
as you were, as you were learning and going through these different jobs and interviews, you mentioned Rocky Gillis. Rocky was the very first guest on this podcast
Oh
when we
man, that's
started
cool. Okay.
6 years ago. So you're in very good company. Um, what was your thought process to, some people say, go over to the dark side. I just say, come to the other side of the desk and become an athletic director instead of being a head coach.
So honestly, it just time. So everybody's gonna probably see this like, oh, she's so young, but I'm 15 years in with my coaching career. So I've done this a long time. And on the back half of my career, I was an assistant AD for 8 to 9 years. So I just always just wanted an opportunity and wanted my shot. And I didn't say this earlier, but when I got to East River, I was the head girls basketball coach and assistant AD to the AD that was here prior to that. We moved on to another school. So I was here 1 year, and then the opportunity arose for me to interview to become the director of athletics at East River High School. And I just jumped at the opportunity, man. I'm the person that just jumps out the window with the house is on fire with no parachute. I know I'm gonna land on my feet. And that's just how I am. And now that just and I'm not a person to talk about myself, so it's so funny to have to do this or this podcast. But to interview in that process and just have my passion convey and I'm no one's gonna outwork me to be the first female AD in East River's history, man. That's just something that I wasn't looking to do. It just came with the territory, man. And I'm grateful that I'm the one that has the opportunity to lead this campus and lead the school.
I've got a couple of questions. I'm trying to decide which one I want to go with first.
Okay.
You talked about, the interview. Obviously, your enthusiasm and passion comes through. And that's when I was interviewing, like for a coach candidate, I wanted to see that. I would have hired you in 2 seconds. Okay. Um, you mentioned, being the youngest AD or youngest head coach, and probably the
Mhm.
youngest AD too. What did you do beyond your enthusiasm? Because again,
Mhm.
you didn't have, 15 years of experience on your resume. How did you sell yourself to that interview committee so that they could see, geez, we got to hire this person?
So what I do now as an AD kind of goes into that as well, is that if age is not nothing but a number. Obviously, we've heard that going out through years and stuff like that. It's how you convey what your message is. Age doesn't matter at that point. If in my passion and in my talk, I'm going to work hard. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you the keys of what I want to do. And I always say when I was coaching, hey, that first year, don't judge me yet. Judge me after that second year, or judge me after Christmas break and tell me what my team looks like then, and then we'll have a conversation. So it's just a matter of having that confidence. You don't know what you don't know, but you know what you have. And it's the best way to convey what you have is in that process of being like, hey, I'm gonna bet on me. And if you give me this opportunity, I won't make you regret it. And that's just how I've been just betting on Brittney every single time, man. She won't let me down.
No, again, absolutely. I'm hiring you on the spot. So let's go and take another break. But once again, our guest is Brittney Scott. We're coming back with more. So please stay with us. This is the Educational AD Podcast. We want to say thanks to our good friends at Snap Raise for their support. Have you ever spent weeks and weeks with a fundraiser and then been disappointed with the results? Well, those days are gone. Go to snapraise.com. We used it at our school with tremendous success. Coaches loved it, parents loved it. It works. Go to snapraise.com. You can check out all of their other great platforms. But if you're looking for a fundraiser, you just found it, and it's Snap Raise. We also want to thank our friends at Home Campus. Home Campus is a platform that you're going to use every single day. It's the official sports administration platform for the state of Florida and other states as well. But even if your state has a different platform, you can be a home campus school and take advantage of all the resources they have. For me, the athletic clearance and eligibility platform alone was the gold standard. You got to see it to believe it. For more information, just go to homecampus.com. And we want to say thanks to our friends at Gipper. Go to Gipper.com and let their team turn you into a social media marketing genius. Maybe it's a social media post to celebrate a victory. Maybe it's an entire newsletter to showcase all the great things that your athletic department is doing in the community. Either way, the team at Gipper will have you up and running in no time. It's professional graphic design made easy. Go to Gipper.com for more information. And don't forget to mention the podcast.
As Jake alluded to, man, home campus, I'm a Florida AD, so that is like the holy grail for me. So athletic clearance alone gets the kids through that process easily, contracts with other schools and things of that nature. So definitely grateful for home campus, make my job a little bit easier.
Oh gosh, yeah, I'm so glad to hear you say that. Now I'm going to put you on the spot for home campus here. I was at a private school and we used the platform where the families could upload the forms themselves. I would still have to, mark them eligible, but I was no longer dealing with, manila folders full of physical forms. Do you do that as well? Do you encourage the families or the students to upload the forms?
Absolutely. We are not paper here at East River, man. Everything has to be uploaded. And obviously, me and my team, we do a great job of clearing kids out and things of that nature, but definitely the family uploads everything. So it makes it an easier process. So if they're not cleared, they know why.
Yeah, there have been few things in our careers that have been game changers.
Right.
That certainly was for me.
Huge.
Um, let's go and jump into all things East River. Share with our listeners a little bit about, the size of the school, how many programs, and in particular, what are some things that you maybe you have brought to East River that you're particularly proud of?
First and foremost, I cannot say anything about East River without mentioning our amazing leader, man. My principal, Becky Watson, is one of one, man. That's I call her the GOAT. That's like the principal of the universe. So she is amazing. And the reason why I say that, because if you're an AD and you're listening to this, if you're not supported by your administration, sometimes you feel it. You know what I mean? So it makes it a little bit harder to do our job. But she allows me to kind of be free and let me explore. And if she has to rope me back in, she does. But East River High School, man, I've gotten to the point, I'm going into year 3 as the AD here. But now my emails when I meet a new parent is I am the proud athletic director of East River High School, man. We're about a little bit shy of 2,000 students. Um, Culture is great here. The school's been around, it's going into its 16th year. So it's still kind of still new. And it's kind of getting into that realm where the history is starting to make its own thing, but it's still taking on new traditions and things of that nature. Out here in East Orlando, it's a great place to be, man. The kids are great, the energy is great. And one of the biggest things that I wanted to build when I took over, because like I said, I was the assistant on my first year, was culture. Culture matters to me. It matters to me when I was coaching. I didn't always have the LeBron type of kid or the 5-star prospect. I had a bunch of 2 stars that would look like a 5-star based on their work ethic, man. So just the culture was something that was important to me. That there's a school that's our rival. We call them the Purple School, but it's Timber Creek High School, and everybody was such in fear of that school just because we're the newer school. And when I took over, I said we don't fear anybody. We go out there and we do what we need to do. And now I feel as though we're holding our own in a lot of those realms, which is like so important to me, man. Another big thing was the promotion of my kids. We do forgive me, the are losing me right now. We do a score report. I'm sorry. So after every contest, my coaches go in on a Google form and put in whether they won or lost. But we promote that kind of like our own little sports center. But at the end of the next day, we'll say if we won or, we don't do losses. We just gonna do the wins, but we highlight big things. So that's huge for our kids. Our kids look forward to it. And sometimes they'll knock on my office door and be like, hey, coach, you didn't post a score report today. So those type of things are great. I also wanted to make sure I don't do this alone. Now, obviously, as the AD, all the bad stuff, all the emails come to me, man. But I have 2 great assistants that oh my God are like godsend, man. They help me out. They pick up in the areas where I fall short in, which is important for my team, man. I can't do everything. So definitely Jojo Rodriguez and Isaac Lang, man. Those 2 guys are amazing, man. So they help move the culture along because they know my expectations. And that's the biggest thing, is just having expectations for these kids, knowing that I'm accessible. I do everything here when it comes to spirit weeks. I'll dress up in the crazy clothes. I'll jump in pictures with the kids. I'll do all those type of things, man, because it's also fun. I'm still out of school. These kids still have to understand, like, man, I can go to Coach Scott's office and I know she's gonna make me laugh or say something crazy, but I enjoy that process of being here. That's a part of me loving my job.
Now, coming into East River, obviously you had, a body of work, but you're still
Mhm,
probably younger than a lot of your coaches.
mhm.
What were some things that you did to, I guess, let them know, hey, I'm excited to be here, but hey, there's also there's a new sheriff in town. Those are my words, not yours. Yeah.
So my personality conveys in 2 different things. So this is cool, calm, collected, Brittany. This is not Coach Scott per se. So the Coach Scott, they knew like, okay, she's gonna be here and I'm gonna work, man. I'm not one to be hiding behind a desk. When I get bogged down with phone calls or emails and I can't be out, that kind of those are those dog days of the job. But my coaches know I'm accessible, man. I'll go down to the gym. I have head coaches that teach on campus as well, and I'm around. I'm always around. Phone call is hey, pick up the phone. I'll tell you if you call me. I'll tell you, hey, this could have been a text, but they know that I'm accessible and reachable, man. So with the coaches that are older than me, it's just been the story of my life, man. I'm the young one in the group when it comes to a lot of things, but the young one is gonna be here. I'm gonna work. I'm gonna new ideas. Give them to me. What do you want to do? What are the kids saying? I use this term a lot, and this is how I am. I am a kid first AD. And all that means is I want to hear from little Johnny or little Susie about their experience. I don't necessarily want to hear from a parent first. I always reach out to parents though when that time comes. But come and tell me what you want to see, or what's our student section should be, or what's our theme night you want to see. I'm kid first, man, because at the end of the day, I don't have my own kids, so I have the kids I've coached. So I have about over I don't know what 200 kids over my career that are still mine. But the biggest thing is they changed my name to coach. They changed my name to AD, man. And I take that approach because you can't forget why you're here. When we get into arguments of emails and all that stupid stuff, the kids are why we're here, man. So that's one of the things that my coaches saw that's important to me. So it makes it important to them. So everything kind of just moved harmoniously, and we're just here rocking, man. And proud Falcon right here, man.
Um, you mentioned early on, you were a multi-sport kid. You talked about the value, and we all understand that. I think ADs get it. I want to say a lot of coaches get it. How well do the coaches at East River embrace and live that multi-sports philosophy?
Oh, they live it really well because at our preseason coaches meeting, that's one of my talking points. Well, we will have multiple sport athletes and we got to make it work. It's all about communication. Communication is the biggest thing. We can't hold a kid to one sport, especially in today's time, because every sport helps them do something for whatever their main sport is. So it's just a matter of communicating that. Hey, if I'm in football and I know I'm a basketball player, well, I know I can't get to basketball until my season ends, but I'm gonna communicate that with coach, or I'll just poke my head in and let my teammates know I'm around. So they know I'm coming to the team. I just got to finish my first obligation first, man. So it's just a big thing about communicating and having the kids understand, like, hey, if you're gonna do this, you got to commit to it on both sides. You can't just say, I think I'm just a basketball player today, and then next week I'll be a track athlete. That's not how this works, man. You got to be committed and make sure your coaches understand that as well. But I have some of the best coaches, man, in the area. I'd say the state, man. I gotta put my coaches out there. I have some amazing coaches here that get it and understand what we're trying to build. And I'm always a person that says it's always about the big picture. And they understand what I'm trying to build here at East River, man. So definitely want to give a shout out to my coaches as well.
Oh, that's so good to hear. I just love it. Let's go and take another break. I know that's shocking to our regular listeners, but we are going to come back with more with our guest, Brittney Scott, the athletic director at East River High School. Let's take that break. This is the Educational AD Podcast. We want to say thanks to our good friends at Sideline Interactive indoor score tables and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com and you can schedule a live web demo to see their products in action. You've heard me say before, it's probably one of the best purchases I ever made as an AD. We had our own Sideline Interactive indoor score table. Of course, we use it for home games, but we also used it for pep rallies, for signing ceremonies. Their products are tremendously versatile and their customer service is just outstanding. Go to sidelineinteractive.com. Schedule that live web demo today. We also want to thank Ohio University and their online masters in athletic administration. Now, I didn't get my master's from Ohio University, but my assistant athletic director did, along with thousands of others, and it was a great experience. It's very affordable, just 20 months, totally online. And while you earn your master's degree, you also complete 11 NIAAA leadership training courses at no extra charge. Check out Ohio University and their online masters in athletic administration. We want to say thanks to our good friends at Hometown. Hometown is truly changing the game with their suite of solutions that include things like, well, digital ticketing. They're still the number one digital ticketing provider to schools and colleges. How about athletic website construction, fee-free fundraising? There's a whole lot more, and you're going to find it at Hometown. Whether you're an athletic director, a head coach, or a principal, go to hometown.com. They make it easy for you to save time, raise more money, and bring your community together. That's hometown.com. And as always, don't forget to mention the podcast. Welcome back, everybody, to the Educational AD Podcast. Brittney, I've mentioned a couple times, you're a certified athletic administrator. That doesn't happen by accident. So can you share with our listeners your journey with your state association, the FIAAA, and with the NIAAA? How did that all happen?
Absolutely, man. Jake, again, thank you for having me. So my first conference ever, I went as an assistant AD. That was May of 2023. So I just went. My AD, Brandon Joseph, said he was going. I said, okay, I'm gonna tag along and see. And I got there, and obviously I knew some of the ADs from being down south and coaching, and I was just blown away at just the courses, the LTI courses. And that conference, I instantly knew, like, I want to be on the board. I want to be on committees. There's not enough females. Like, that was me. I was spewing everything coming out of my first conference. And then it just so happened the national conference was in my backyard. It was in Orlando that year. So I went to that conference as well in December of 2023. But just going to the courses, man, learning from an Andy Childs and a Russell Wombles, who I happen to share the room with, and OCPS, they're ADs, but they've been on committees and boards. And funny story, the amazing Jake who's in front of us, I went to one of his breakouts, man, with tool AD toolbox kits and stuff like that. And I was just like, man, this is great. So that just kind of just want to give my guy a shout out too, because you didn't know me. I was a rookie AD. I was just like, hey man, I'm gonna go and see what he's talking about. And it was a great time for me. So since that time, like I've talked to people, and the next step for me is I want to start teaching. So I can't wait for the next webinar for 790, I believe it is, so I can take that, so I can start teaching courses at the next FIAAA or national conference and things of that nature. So definitely the biggest thing that I can say to anybody, any AD, personal development is important, man. You get little tools here and there for somebody that could be in your backyard, and they just do something a little bit different that might help you at your school, man. And every time I go to a conference, whether it's statewide or national, I learn something. I network with somebody. I take a business card. So definitely, if you have an opportunity, please go to your state first. Go to your state and get your LTIs and things of that nature. But if you can and can get out to a national conference, please do, man. The next one's in Tampa, in Florida, so I'm excited for that. I went to Austin, but definitely, get your gears ready to go, man, and just learn something, take away something you want to do, and it's been great for me. Definitely grateful.
Well, thanks for the shout out. And thanks for mentioning the importance of taking 790, because you're
Mhm.
absolutely right. That's the course that allows you to become a faculty member, first at your state and then obviously,
Yes.
hopefully, on a national faculty. Looking back at your own LTI experience, can you think of, one course, or I know the courses are 4 hours long, but maybe a component from the course that as you're taking it, it was kind of a wow moment for you?
I'm pretty sure you probably heard this answer a million times because you've been doing this a long time. You don't know what you don't know. That's true. And absolutely, as a rookie AD, there's no like handbook or a how-to guide on how to do this job. You just get in the seat and you got to go. Usually, you got to hire all the type of things. When I took the first two legal courses that you need in order to become a CAA athletic director, I was like, I don't want to do this job anymore. I'm doing everything wrong. Nothing's right. But you just learn so much, man. You just learn so many things from the case studies and all the stuff that's going on, where you've got to make sure, if you do nothing else, make sure, whether it be your handbook or your EAPs or things of that nature, you just got to make sure that you have a plan. Having a plan is the most important thing. That'll save you from getting in trouble. But obviously, it was an overwhelming feeling just to be in there for 4 hours and just hear all the legal matters and the liability and stuff. And I was like, all right, took a deep breath and I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And then, like I said, fast forward here, man, I'm over here about to go into my third year as sitting in the chair as the director of athletics at East River High School, man. And it's been great. It's been great.
Yeah, you're right. Those legal courses are the oh my goodness, do I really want to do this
Yeah.
type of course. Now, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you, have you thought about getting that CMAA? You have a project in mind. What can you share with our listeners?
I'm gonna put it to you this way. Like I said, my first conference was May of 23. I got certified December of 2024 in Austin. So I'm 100% thinking about my CMAA. Project wise, we do so much, and I'm pretty sure I'm doing something in my day-to-day job that can be a
Yes.
great project. I haven't pinpointed one yet, but I 100% I'm on the road to getting my CMAA.
And you're absolutely right. And again, I say that all the time. Listeners, you're already doing something at your school. Maybe it's with student athletes or coaches or parents or facilities. Maybe it's a Hall of Fame. Maybe it's a handbook, but you're doing something that would make a great CMA project. I was on the certification committee for many years and I've
Right.
seen a lot of project presentations. Something that is important to you, something that you value, those are the best projects. So good for you.
Well, I appreciate that vote of confidence. So that kind of actually narrowed it down to like two things in particular. So I appreciate that.
Well, for you and for the listeners, I
Yep.
still work with ADs and help them, get their thoughts in order. It's all free, no charge. We want to help you guys get those CMAs. I've even had people. We've done a Zoom call, just the two of us, and they've
Mhm.
presented their project to me,
Okay.
just as they would do for the committee, and I give them my 2 cents. But happy to do that for anybody. Uh, Brittney, this has been very cool, getting to know you a little bit better, but
Okay.
we're not done yet. We
Okay.
always wrap up with the athletic director's toolbox. Now, you certainly know your way around the world of athletics, but we're going to take a final break here from Athletic Surveys, who sponsored this segment. When we come back, I'm going to ask you to send out a brand new AD on their very first job, but I'm only going to let you put three things in the toolbox. So let's take that break, and when we come back, we're going to see what Brittney Scott puts in her new AD toolbox. Please stay with us. We want to say thanks to Athletic Surveys for sponsoring the AD Toolbox segment of the podcast. You know, athletic directors already get feedback, but a lot of times it's from a very small group that just wants to complain. Athletic Surveys is going to connect you to that group so you can hear their concerns and hopefully address them. But they're also going to connect you to the 98% of your stakeholders that actually support your program. And having that type of positive data is incredibly valuable, especially when you're visiting with one of those frustrated parents, or maybe your principal, or even your school board. Go to athleticsurveys.com. They're going to create a custom survey just for your school that lets you take the pulse of everybody in your program. That's athleticsurveys.com. Check them out today. Well, it's that time of the podcast. We've been visiting today with Brittney Scott. She's a certified athletic administrator, the director of athletics at East River High School here in Orlando. Has a tremendous background in athletics, but right now I'm going to challenge her to send out a brand new AD on their very first job, but I'm only going to let her put three things in the toolbox. So, Brittney, what three items are going to go into your new athletic director toolbox?
First and foremost, I will say set goals. And it's not even goals for your department, set goals for yourself. What do you want your athletic director tenure to look like? That was important for me as far as the mission and the vision of what I wanted it to look like in say after my first year. So definitely set goals, reachable ones, obviously, and then reach for the moon and hear that story. Hopefully you land on the stars, but definitely set goals for yourself within of what you want your tenure to look like in that first year. It's overwhelming, of course. You get in the seat and everything is just go, go, go. But take a moment, set those goals, get your mission and your vision in line, and that'll set you on your way for first and foremost. So I would definitely say that would be the first thing to do as a new athletic director. Number two, establish culture. Once you put those goals out, what does your culture look like? How do your student athletes try to reach those goals within themselves? Establishing culture for me is a couple of things. Being present, being present. I'm happy to say in my time here, I haven't missed one senior night since I've been the athletic director. And the one that I missed was because we had a district championship game in softball and I had to go to the district championship game. But every single senior night, these kids know I'm going to be there. And that's just one particular game, but they know they can expect that because that's a part of our culture. Our culture is showing up for other Falcons. So a lot of my kids here now, they know, hey, well, my team is going to show up to this particular game. And I know Coach Scott's going to let us in for free because we're going as a team. That's a part of our culture. Because if we don't show up for ourselves, nobody else will. So definitely establish what your culture is within your school and within your community. That also that goes with the first tool that I gave. Once you put your goals in place, then find a way to know how to act on it. And third and lastly, it's important because it was important for me. Find someone, whether it's a mentor, whether it's a new AD that's learning the things as you're learning them as well. It's important because there is no such thing as a perfect AD. There are some that do some things better than others, obviously, that's life, but there's no one that's perfect. Find somebody to bounce the good, bad, and the ugly off of because every AD goes through it. Whether you're a veteran, like my guy Andy Childs or Russell Wombles, or you're a newbie, you know what I mean? When I was in the room with those guys my first year, I picked up the phone. I said, Andy, hey, I need some help. And they were gracious enough to you kind of give those things to me. But definitely find somebody. I was in a situation where there was some female ADs, and females in sports itself, we're kind of few and far between. So the female ADs had a group chat where we would just bounce ideas and stuff off of each other, man. So definitely find your niche and find your group of people within your state or reach outside of that just to have somebody to bounce those ideas off of, man. If you stick to those two, three things along with everything else, man, your first couple of years as an AD, man, you'll have the smile that I have on my face as well.
Again, you're spot on with all three of those, and you mentioned, some real pros there with Andy and Russell. Very cool. Yeah, absolutely. It's something that I tell ADs now when I speak to them. Probably the number one tool is finding that mentor. Building your network. Okay,
Yep.
Brittney, just thank you so much for sharing with our listeners today. We didn't do this, so shame on me. If one of our listeners wanted to reach out and pick your brain a little bit more and add you to their network, and listeners, I think you have a tremendous resource here. What's the best way that our listeners can get a hold of Brittney Scott?
Please email me, man. Reach out, and if you watch this and you have something for me, give me that as well, man. So my email is Brittney Brittney Scott SCOTT@ocps.net. I'm always on my email. And if you're an AD, phone, it's in my hand on my phone. I'm on the computer, all those good things. So definitely reach out. And if you have anything for me, man, definitely keep pouring on me too. I'm always willing to learn and always willing to grow.
Well, we are definitely going to get you back on the podcast. Again, great advice today. Love your tool suggestions, and we're looking forward to getting you back.
All right, man, Jake. I appreciate it so much, man. Thank you.
For our listeners, we want to say that we appreciate you and remind you that we upload the Zoom recordings of every interview to the Educational AD Podcast YouTube channel. We do this just about every day. We try to share stories from the world of athletics along with some best practices. So please come back and join us again on the next episode of the Educational AD Podcast. We'll see you next time.